Which cards are the chase cards? This video will give you detailed ranks of the cards as of July, considering all 403 cards in the alpha set. Hey, how's it going everyone? This is Hank from Wizard's Den and you are watching Sorcery TCG News. Today I'll be giving you updates on the card ranking of the alpha set. I did one episode in the past, but I think it's time to give an update to that list. Here's the agenda for today. First, I'll do a quick overview of the metagame for the ones who are not that active in the actual gaming scene. Then I'll go over 7 different subsections of cards and give you top 3 cards for each elite and unique rarity. The ranking will be based on the card power, collectability, and the supply. To be clear, no, it's not just comparing single prices on eBay. So first, the metagame review. Currently, the dominant element in the metagame is Earth. Earth has everything. Removal, life gain, control, beefy minions, and search cards. It is rather hard to evade playing Earth, and everyone needs to prepare for it. Air is the best supporting element with card draws, teleportation, burn, and spells like grapple shots. Most powerful decks combine air with its central element, and it is an element you would always face regardless of the deck type. The most popular avatar is Sorcerer, Avatar of Earth, and Death Speaker. Most of these avatars do run air and earth as their main elements. Note that this metagame is based on card sets without the hidden 35 cards and could change slightly. However, the fact that Earth dominates would likely not change even with the addition of these cards. So now let's get into the actual rankings, starting from air. For the elites, we have Grandmaster Wizard, Highland Falconer, and Nimbus Djinn. Grandmaster Wizard is probably the most powerful draw card in Sorcery. It gets used in multiple archetypes that wouldn't mind the Sun tempo loss. Certainly it is being heavily used in the current metagame with Death Speaker to draw cards continuously. Highland Falconer is a very efficient minion that can summon airborne beasts with mana cost 2 or less. Great minion that can be used to fetch out Sacred Scarabs or Palabry Bats. As it's a Genesis effect, this also gets used frequently with Death Speaker. And what do you want to do after drawing tons of cards by fetching out your Grandmaster Wizard with your Death Speaker? Well, why not discard them all and just finish your opponent in one shot with Nimbus Djinn? Nimbus Djinn gets used in not just Death Speaker decks, but also dedicated decks that function around this card, and ranks in last in the list. For the uniques, we have Browse, Grim Reaper, and Highland Princess. Browse is definitely the best easy-to-use search card in late games. Some of you may be wondering, well, what about Dream Quest? Dream Quest got a pretty big nerf as now you can't make avatars fall asleep and you are forced to cast on the spellcaster minion, which makes it vulnerable to removal spells. Hence, it didn't make it on the list. Grim Reaper and Highland Princess goes in next as the best to drop minions. Grim Reaper can remove all copies of a minion when it damages it. The mana cost of 2 makes it easy to be combined with grapple shots, so you can guarantee at least 1 minion to be removed. Very powerful as you can completely remove any future threats of any powerful minion. Highland Princess is also strong due to her Artifact Tutor effect. You can pull any of your Alchemy 9 cards or Kythera Mechanism, and as it's a Genesis effect, it goes well with Death Speaker. Next, Earth. And here are the rankings. Starting from elites, Earthquake, Royal Bodyguard, and Atlas Wanderers make the top 3. Earthquake, inarguably the most powerful removal spell with insane site repositioning capability, goes in first. Not just mass removal, but also repositioning avatar positions for the final death blow makes this card so powerful. In fact, too powerful. Royal Bodyguard goes in second with its nice ability with toughness of 4 for just 4 mana. It is both a defensive and offensive minion, and I don't know any Earth deck that doesn't use this card. Last goes to Alice Wanderers with the beefy size and the site repositioning capability. This site repositioning is very powerful as you can set the stage for making attacks with your Avatar of Earth. It's also a good method to transport some of your minions near the enemy without being intercepted. For uniques, we have Crusade, Giganticism, and Queen of Midland. Crusade goes really well with casting other killer Earth minions directly on sight. Giganticism is the second card that can totally ruin your opponent's game plan. Any Earth minion or the Avatar of Earth can become a damage source that eats more than half of your life. I myself had several instances that took me out by surprise. Queen of Midland goes last with its card draw ability, which is a little bit weak compared to Grandmaster and Wizard, but certainly not something you can close your eyes on once it hits the realm. Next, Fire. Here's a ranking. The Elites goes to Major Explosion, Infiltrate, and Flame Wave. Major Explosion is a great burn spell to put your opponents to death's door after slinging them with firebolts and lightning bolts. Infiltrate is a very interesting pseudo-removal spell. It can remove one of your opponent's beefy minions, and because it gives stealth, you can keep it until you need it to finish your opponents at death's door. Final rank goes to Flame Wave. Are you using burn decks and find yourself annoyed that your enemy avatar is moving away from your direct line of sight? Well, make sure you add in some Flame Wave to make them regret. Next, uniques. Death Dealer, Courtesan Theas, and Pact of the Devil makes the list. Death Dealer, with its powerful Genesis, goes in first. It works extremely well with Death Speaker and other decks utilizing fire. Adding that, yes, it's a Frazetta card which the art is going to be limited for alpha, and that is currently making this card in high demand. From being favored by both players and collectors, Death Dealer unquestionably goes first. Second goes to Courtesan Theas. Now, the card power itself is not too powerful. It's not a card that can be used reliably, and you might get hurt by it too. You can use it to finish the game, but there are other stable, easier, and much more flexible spells that can be used instead. For me, the only reason this comes second is due to the collector premium, as it's one of the Frazetta arts. Pact with the Devil comes in third. Great card drawing engine, provided you can get a spellcaster minion out to offshore the additional life cost you potentially have to pay. Next, Water. The least used element due to being underpowered at this point. Here are the rankings. Starting from Elites, we have Selfsame Simulacrum, Abundance, and Polymorph. Selfsame Simulacrum goes first with the ability to put a copy of the most useful minion that exists in the realm. You can just copy your enemy's most powerful minion, or you can use it to copy some of your auras that you animated using Enchantress. Abundance comes in second with its huge mana ramp capability. Works extremely well with Enchantress as it can also become a heavy hitter. Last goes to Polymorph for its cheap but effective minion removal capability. Works only nearby, so it does need some cover with other spellcasters or Magellan Glove to use it effectively. Going through uniques, Ruler of Thal, Atlantean Fate, and Twist of Fate makes the top 3. Ruler of Thal, the last unique Frazetta card, goes in first as a collector's favorite. The card itself is actually powerful too, with itself having charge but also giving your units the capability to move directly to the opponent's side from the bottom of the realm and also giving them +1. A great way to charge your opponent by surprise. Atlantean Fate goes second with its destructive capability. You can mess up your opponent hard due to its site alteration capability and minion removals. Dropping this card itself can literally be the end for your opponent, as depending on how many non-ordinary sites there are, recovering becomes very difficult. Twist of Fate is one of the 35 hidden cards, and it makes it to the third. This card is currently being heavily debated whether this trade life effect count as gaining life or not. If it is treated differently as gaining life, this will be a killer card when used at death's door and certainly makes it a game-altering effect. Personally, I hope that trading life is not considered as life gain. I think water can have some cool mechanics like this as it's underpowered, and the name Twist of Fate matches well with the effect. The card power in this rank assumes this is the case. Next, artifacts, and here's the ranking. The elite goes to the Mixes, Magellan Globe, and Chains of Prometheus. Mixes, I don't think I have to go over that. A great mana accelerator of all times. Magellan Globe comes in second with the ability to create a Pac-Man effect, which can give your opponent a surprise attack from behind. It works really well with Avatar of Earth too. It has so much potential use, but seems like it's not used too much at this time. Third goes to Chains of Prometheus. Being a powerful control monument, it goes really well against decks that use large Earth minions, and I hope I see it being used a lot. Personally, I am starting to add it to my control decks. Now to the uniques. The Alchemy 5, Eric Curiosa, and Kythera Mechanism. No explanation for the Philosopher's Stone and the cores. Yes, they are powerful and unquestionably demanded by collectors and players. Second goes to Eric's Curiosa for two reasons. The effect is super powerful, if you can use it. Also, it will likely be the card that gets removed for alpha, and that drives demand even higher. Kythera Mechanism goes in third, mainly driven by collectors' demand. Even though there are cards that can use this effectively, it's still limited to certain cards and not necessarily powerful enough that completely changes the meta at this point. However, combined with Highland Princess, it is certainly a card to watch out for in the future. Next, sites, and here's the ranking. Rift Valley, Crossroads, and Sinkhole makes the rank for elites. Rift Valley is the most powerful elite Earth site that can be used to reposition yours or your enemy's sites. It works well to inject your minions directly, gain position advantage for projectiles, or to realign some Earth sites to pump up your avatar of Earth. Crossroads come in second as the best Atlas scrying capability. Works well with various decks that rely on having specific sites. Pathfinder also benefits from using it. It will certainly be one of the cards that will be used with future sets. Sinkhole is a nice site that can destroy some key sites. Want to trigger your Roots of Yggdrasil? Have some of these in so you can wipe out the board. For the uniques, we have Mirror Realm, Pillar of Xyros, and the Geistwood. To be honest, the unique sites were the most difficult ones to pick as they are all really powerful. I chose Mirror Realm as first as it is truly a versatile site and also has one of the most favorite art amongst the fans. Pillar of Xyros is a really powerful site that works well against Death Speaker decks, and it is an auto-include in all Earth decks at this moment. And Geistwood is the card that makes Death Speaker decks go turbocharged, and it's one of the most abused sites in the current metagame. Finally, the avatars. This is the ranking. I decided to rank all of them. We have Pathfinder, Avatar of Earth, and Death Speaker for the top three. Pathfinder is a great avatar and is placed on the top due to it being the only unique amongst the avatars. Avatar of Earth goes second due to its power in the current metagame and its stable operation. In the Season 2 Sorcery League, I was one of the players who used Avatar of Earth. It is very popular right now. Also, it is part of the Precon decks, and that makes it even slightly more rare than other elite rarity avatars. Battle Mage and Enchantress goes in 4th and 5th position. Due to the powerful beefy minions present, Battle Mage has slightly toned down recently as it tends to run out of gas when playing against Air-Earth mid-range decks. Enchantress also received an indirect nerf due to the ruling of large minions. Currently, if large minions occupy a void at any time, it will be banished, unlike in the past where it can survive. This makes animating auras restrictive, and it lost some of its versatility compared to the past. Even though both of these avatars tone down a bit, any unprepared deck can be overrun pretty quickly. 6th to 8th place goes to Avatar of Air, Seer, and Elementalist. Not bad avatars, but not too powerful either. Avatar of Air has an ability to fly over minions nearby, and this makes it easier to transport minions like Men of Leng. Implanting relics such as Maddening Bells also is easy with this and certainly has some use. Seer, with its deck alteration capability on both spells and allies, works well for some decks, but not all. Elementalist does seem some use, but also tend not to have overpowering capabilities either. Finally, the last goes to Avatar of Water and Avatar of Fire, with Sorcerer being the last. Avatar of Fire is literally the worst avatar. Its ability is simply not good. It would be better to just draw extra cards with Sorcerer and cast a different spell. Avatar of Water is slightly better with its teleporting capability, which allows entry of attack with your water minions. Also, it makes it easier to give a death blow. Sorcerer goes in last, not because it's a bad avatar. Sorcery is the most versatile and powerful avatar. It only goes in last because of the abundance of the card, the fact that it's a common avatar, and also because you can get it in the box topper. Did you agree with the rankings? Make sure to share your thoughts in the comments. So that's it for today's episode. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for future episodes regarding sorcery. Thanks for watching, and until next time, have a great game.